Hey, this is Jeff LeBar. You listen to Izzy Presley. Those aren't pillows!
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
Hello, Southern California! Are you ready to get down? I give you the mighty
Look at all the people here tonight!
I forgot the fucking word!
Van Halen was a part of my youth. I mean, we used to drew the Van Halen logo on our notebooks in high school, along with the Rolling Stones, like the mouth and, you know, all the Kiss logo. When it switched over to Sammy Hagar, it became a different thing. It was a different thing.
It's a whole different pivot.
I mean, it wasn't a bad thing.
No.
But it was a different thing.
All of Sam's lyrics contain love.
Yes.
Okay, why can't this be love? And I ain't talking about love. We'll be right back with more fighting after this.
That's not a microphone in my pants. I'm just happy to see you, California!
Somebody give me a shot!
I've never heard of Van Halen.
Hello, Las Vegas. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you. Always good to be seen. I'm Izzy Presley. I'm the host of the program that is called Another Effin' Podcast. Welcome. Welcome to my humble abode. Welcome to my humble little show. It's good to be here. And coming early this week, which means that, well, there may be two shows this week for you, the adoring Freebird public that listens to this show with commercials on whatever service you use to listen to podcasts, or here on the YouTube to watch podcasts. More than just two shows, you know, for the Patreon folks, who you should just be one. It's only $5 a month. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee. You know, when you go to Starbucks, burnt hair. We already covered this in the last show. So yeah, go to the Patreon, patreon.com/RealIzzyPresley. Get a bunch more shows. Get it ad free. You don't want to fast forward through the ads. You can just, you know, listen to it ad free. Enjoy it. And subscribe on the YouTube as well. I mean, if you're watching on the YouTube, might as well subscribe to the YouTube. It's here. Anyways, it's good to see you. Good to be seen. I started a shitstorm on Saturday, and I figured it was time to, because the shitstorm is over, and I was going to a party. It was a birthday party, and a vamped celebration. And so there was a bunch of people that worked there, and this dude, that was his birthday, and they jammed, and there was a food truck, and I had to go for the food truck because it was Donnie from Vamped, you know, the manager, and he has a new food truck, his Yo Dogs, and I had to try one of his chili cheese dogs, and I did, and it was glorious. And I'm driving there, and I'm like, God, I need some Van Halen in my life. And before I get into that, most importantly, crack one for the working man. Oh, there it is. God bless beer. 4 years ago today, we lost Jeff LeBar. Go back, listen to the episodes, listen to his interviews. I loved Jeff. He was a great dude. He was a funny dude, and I miss him. He was a good dude. So hope you're resting well, my friend. Cheers. Anyways, so I'm driving to this party, And we're going to talk about yesterday was a red letter date in my history as well because as you heard from the intro, we have heard about Van Halen. We do know who Van Halen is, and this is a very Van Halen heavy show because yesterday was today is Monday. The is it the 14th today? I think it's the 14th. Is that math right? I don't freaking know. Um, suppose I could just look at my phone, but that's all the way just a hair out of reach. Or I could just look at it. Yes, it's the 14th. Take a look at that. Um, July 13th, 1988 was my very first big boy show. My very first big boy concert. And that, of course, was Van Halen, Scorpions, Dokken, Metallica, Kingdom Come. And that was called the Monsters of Rock. And that was my very first. I had seen shows, I had seen bands before that. We're gonna get into all of that, but this was my first big boy show. But so I'm driving, I'm listening to Fair Warning, and I'm regretting it. And I know all you Dave Only Bobos are losing your mind right now. How could you regret listening to Fair Warning? That's sacred ground. That's hallowed ground. Um, I was I came to the conclusion that I wish I had brought 5150. I'm just letting you lose your mind. I know you're just your head is exploding and you're wanting to turn this off right now. I wish it was 5150. I think 5150 is a better record. Fair Warning, 3 fucking solid ass songs. 3. Hear About It Later. Mean Street. And Unchained. Is it Mean Street? Yeah. The rest, it's just not great. I'm sorry. It's just not a great right. It's like I equated it to, and I know all my a lot of my Van Halen Dave Only Bobos have lost their mind about this because there was text conversations going on. There was name calling at me. But I equate Fair Warning to Creatures of the Night. And all the Kiss tards are going to get pissed off. But it's no secret, Creatures of the Night is not one of my favorite records. 4 bangers of songs and a lot of filler. It's not a great record top to bottom. We've covered this. We've been there. I've said this on multiple Kiss podcasts. Well, the 2 that I go on, 3 Sides of the Coin, and the number 1 Kiss podcast, Shout It Out Loudcast. And that's the way I feel about Van Halen's Fair Warning. Now, I know you're still yelling. You're still having a hissy fit. You're calling me names. You're whining. You're telling me I'm stupid. You're saying I have a vagina. I've heard it all. I've heard it all because of this take, because of my thoughts on Sam versus Dave. And I love Dave. Those first 2 records are untouchable. I think Women and Children and Fair Warning are not as good as everybody holds them up to be. As you heard on the Christmas summit that we did. There few great songs on each one. And then there's stuff that's not so great. I think 1984 is better than both of them. But 5150, top to bottom, is a better record. Let that sink in. And I don't know. I don't know how more to explain it. I don't know why you can't just accept that. Why you just cannot accept the facts of the matter. That 1986, Van Halen, first record with Sammy Hagar. I know you just screamed at the radio again or at the YouTube. Sammy Hagar's first number one record. Van Halen's first number one record. Solid ass album, top to bottom, except for the inside. We all know the inside is not a great song. And that's your throwaway that is on 5150. Just a bunch of weird fucking studio stuff. It's just that the only thing that that sticks out to me in my head about the inside is that's what's going down on the inside. And at one point, Sammy goes, Mike, what was that shit you gave me last night? That's the only memorable thing about the inside. Again, fair warning, 3 banger songs, bunch of filler. And yes, I hear you, Dave Only Bobos, yelling, there's no filler on Dave records. You're wrong. You're wrong. I know you've knighted Dave. I know you've brought him into sainthood. I know that you think that because Diamond David Lee Roth, you think that he is Van Halen. That's really the fact of the matter. But that's not true. It's just that stuff's better. Not necessarily. There is some Dave stuff that is untouchable. I am not denying that. Dave and Sammy are apples and oranges. I get that. You can't compare eras like that. Well, I can. I just did. You must get over your obdurate recalcitrance and open your eyes and open your ears. And I know if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you're looking behind my head, seeing Michael, Dave, and Edward. It's a killer black and white picture from Holland, 1978 or 79, one of the two. But if you love Sammy so much, why is it that Sammy? Because this is the picture I was given. It's that simple. I mean, it's not quantum physics. And then I started thinking, after, a day of watching people lose their fucking minds, because it's apparently the world revolves around Dave era Van Halen. Like, there is no other era, there is no other band allowed to ever utter the words Van Halen. To even be on any stage ever, I guess. I don't know if it's. At first, I thought, who's more sensitive? Is it the Dave Only Bobos? Because, do they hate the Sammy apologists? That's another group too, but they're not as bad as the Dave Only Bobos. Or at first I thought, is it the Dave Only Bobos, or is it the Ace cult? Because being a Kiss fan, being a Kiss tard, having an Ace Frehley tribute band, I know a lot of people that would fall into the tarddom and the Ace cultdom. But then talking to my close personal friend Zeus, who was just on the show a couple weeks ago, said, "Nah, it's not the Ace cult. It's the footy pajama wearers. It's the kiss can do no wrong people. Those ones. That's who you put up against the Dave Only Bobos. There is a lot of sensitivity going on there. Those two groups are so sensitive. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. Those two groups are so sensitive that I feel manly crying at the end of many movies, or like when Zach and Kelly break up outside of the masquerade ball because of that douchebag Jeff. I'm a crier. We covered this in the Patreon. There's a whole episode about me being a big pussy. You should go listen to that. It's only $5 a month. Patreon.com/Real Izzy Presley. You can find that link anywhere. Real Izzy Presley, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, show page, and other podcasts on Facebook. Or on the website, izzypresley.com. Which I need to learn how to update myself. So there's a lot of sensitivity going on, and I don't know how to I just don't know who's worse, the Dave Onlys, the Dave Only Bobos, or the footy pajama kiss tards. I mean, I am in the tardom, but I'm not in the footy pajama wearing level. Why is the light changing? Must be the ghost. Some bitch is back there. I know it's not him, but maybe he's using the force or something. So that's something to ponder. Leave your comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Who is more sensitive, the Dave Only Bobos or the footy pajama wearing kiss tards? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Now, before we move on, I gotta goddamn take a sip of beer. I do have some stuff coming up. I was just on the podcast with Don Jameson and Keith Roth. That is called Rockstrap. And basically, they have musicians go on there and talk about sports. It's fun because, as a lot of you know, I was a sports and music director for RX Magazine, the Weekly Buzz newspaper. I did some writing for WBHR The Bear, the website. Very little, just a couple articles, but it's like, dude, I'm here. Let me do something because I enjoy it and I do miss it. So I'll post that link when that comes out. August 22nd, August 20th, I leave for the On the Blue cruise, which embarks on the 22nd, flying overnight. I get to Boston at 8 a.m. I've never been to Boston, so I'm getting there early, and maybe I can go get some clam chowder. Just so I can say I had clam chowder in Boston. That would be pretty damn cool. So there's that. And then we get back on August 29th. I fly straight back right as I get off the boat. Which reminds me, I need to book my flight back. Might be a good idea. And I need the money to do that, though. We'll get there. And I get back that night. My Ace Frehley tribute band. See, Kiss Tard. I admit it. Kiss Tard. Ace Cult. Kiss Tard. We are opening up for the Killer Dwarfs at Backstage Bar and Billiards here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are playing with... hold on. I got to tell you who we're playing with. Come on, just open, you some bitch. Downloads. There it is. It is the Killer Dwarfs, and probably going to have Dunk and Russ on the show, or one of them at least, coming up very, very soon. Ack, a tribute to Ace Frehley. That's my band right here. At Odds and Acting Human. And one of those is actually featuring Les Warner, the original drummer from The Cult. So that is going to be a good time. I look forward to seeing everybody there. And of course, we talked about the Kiss. It always comes back. Dude, can we just talk about Kiss? It always comes back to Kiss, the Kiss Cruise Landlocked Edition, which is here in November. And there is a unofficial Casablanca pre-party. Nothing to do with the actual record label. Don't worry. That's just the name of it. I am hosting it. That is on the Thursday. And One Last Kiss is playing. The Bones are playing. And then that weekend, as the Kiss thing is going on, if you're coming here for that, come over to the place that we're having the Las Vegas Guitar Trade Show. Hit it up, LasVegasGuitarTradeShow.com, and come and join us. So yesterday, like I said, a lot of Van Halen talk today. It's a lot of obdurate recalcitrance. Seriously, go sign up for the Patreon. Listen to just to listen to that episode of me talking about why I cry like a bitch. Yesterday, July 13th, 1988, it was the Monsters of Rock tour. Van Halen, Scorpions, Dokken, Metallica, Kingdom Come at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, my first big boy show. Tickets were $25. We were in row 40. My mom waited in line to get us our tickets. 8 of us went. It was the summer between freshman year of high school and sophomore year, obviously. I had just gotten braces on, so my teeth hurt like a motherfucker. I could barely eat. I was 15. I wasn't drinking beer. Wasn't drinking goddamn beer. I mean, I am now. God, beer's delicious. Thank God for beer. I remember when it was announced, I was freaking out. But of course, oh, dude, they should take this band. Fucking, who's Metallica? Take them off, put Kiss on there. Fucking stupid kid shit. My mom waited in line to get our tickets. This is back in the day this was pre-internet, pre-Ticket Master. So this would have been, God, did they go on sale the year before? I don't know. I think it was still cold when they went on sale. It was probably during the winter. So my mom went to the record store, and I can't remember the name of it. If you're from St. Cloud, you will remember it. It was where Famous Dave's was. I mean, this is years and years and years and the years before Famous Dave would have been there. And there was the movie theater was over there. It was at the Crossroads Mall, but it wasn't in the mall. It was across the parking lot in the corner on 3rd. Or is that 33rd? Nope, that's 3rd. Because 33rd and 3rd. Stupid St. Cloud shit run through my head. Stoked, excited. What I had seen of live music before this. So I went to a Catholic school. I went to started in 2nd grade. I went to public school, kindergarten, and 1st grade. Then I went to a Catholic school called St. Pete's. St. Pete's, after 4th grade, you went to St. Paul's. It was St. Peter's and Paul's, but different locations. Elementary school, middle school. 5 through 8, St. Paul's, which basically fed the whole diocese. They had all of these Catholic schools, and they all fed into the cathedral, which is the high school. And they lost the state high school hockey tournament this year. Went to the final. Year before, they won. And I was sitting on a boat in the Caribbean getting my updates. And I was very, very excited. These fed into Cathedral. And the Cathedral also had a middle school as well, or junior high at least, John the 23rd. So because it's a private Catholic school, they have to do a fundraiser every year. And this is for the whole thing, not just the high school. It's for the grade schools and all that kind of stuff feeding into the high school. And that was called Rock Around the Clock. And they would go to the ice arena that my mom worked at, the MAC, the Municipal Athletic Complex. And they would put on a show. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, familiar at least with the name Bobby V. You probably don't know any of his music. The one song that sticks out in my head is "Take Good Care of My Baby." So Bobby was from Fargo. And Bobby got his big break the night that Buddy Holly died. They were on their way from Clear Lake, Iowa to Fargo to play. And we all know the story that fateful, they get on the jet, crashed. Right outside of Clear Lake. They didn't even make it out of Clear Lake. They needed somebody to fill in so the show could go on. So Bobby V filled in. Local boy. And Bobby got his big break by being the guy that filled in for Buddy Holly. And Bobby eventually moved to St. Cloud. And he sent his kids to Cathedral. Now, Bobby helped put this show on every year. Bobby brought in, because Bobby was an artist in the 60s. So on the radio hits in the 60s. And so Bobby put this show on. I saw Jan and Dean. I saw it's Leslie Gore. It's my party and I'll cry if I mean, I'm young. I'm little while I'm seeing all these. Chubby Checker. I remember distinctly. It was like I still have the shirt, believe it or not. Doesn't fit, obviously. Chubby Checker. I'm up front. I'm front and center. Chubby's doing the twist. He pulls me up on stage. I got to do the twist of Chubby Checker. Bo Diddley. Was it Bo Diddley? Whoever had the cigar box guitar. I think that was Bo Diddley. So we Dick Clark hosted one year. So this, at the age of 15, these are the bands that I've seen. My freshman year, I tried to go to fucking see Kiss, Crazy Nights tour. My mom said only if my cousin Gary would take me. He looked at me and said, "Nah, sorry, brah, ain't happening." He wasn't a Kiss fan. God damn you, great big stack attack. There was also a chance to go see the Motley Crue Theater of Pain tour, but that was no fucking way. Way too young then. So this is what I am used to, which is still, somebody that's that young, still badass. It's still cool. It's still something. I mean, I look back on it like, I can't believe I was able to see these artists at such a young age. So now we're in the era of the MTV, the Headbangers Ball. The 80s glam rock is on top of the world. And Van Halen is coming. Brand new record, OU812, just came out. They're bringing the Scorpions. They're bringing Dokken. They're bringing this band I'd never heard of called Metallica, and they're bringing this new up and coming band who just put out their first record called Kingdom Come. And I know everybody complains about, oh, they just Led Zeppelin wannabes. Well, everybody's a fucking Led Zeppelin wannabe. Yes, they do have moments where they sound like Led Zeppelin, but who doesn't? But then Slipknot doesn't. Oh, I'm sure you can find a moment. I remember we get there. It was doors opened at noon for the Metrodome, where you get sucked in. And when you leave, you get pushed out because of the air to keep that roof up. And I remember Kingdom Come came on. And it's so wild. I posted this on Sunday, and it is still getting liked, still getting retweeted, still comments. See, I just opened it up again. They may have, Faster Pussycat did not play the LA fucking show. We were 20 rows from the stage. It was insane. I remember people ripping out seats and throwing them from above. See, it's just. So I posted this. It's got, and this is right now, it's got 135 comments, 44 retweets, 838 likes, 27,000 impressions, 27,000 views. And it's just people keep commenting on it. And it's fucking, it shows how important this was. Here's another one. I was at Candlestick for this great show. Unfortunately, my buddy broke his foot. Long story. I retweeted. Remember these great shows, mostly just not meticulously the sellouts, and settle down. Great show. Akron Rubber Bowl solidified my love for Scorpions and Metallica. 100 degrees on the floor. They were using water cannons to keep people from overheating and passing out. I heard there's a lot of stories about water cannons. Hoosier Dome, Indianapolis. All these acts for $25. That was expensive in 1988. Yeah, it's just the Kingdom for me. And of course, you got, the Sammy haters. Great concert, Van Halen with Hagar, so. Hell yeah, it was worth every fucking penny. You see, it wasn't just a show, man. It was an effort lifestyle. That's funny. Here's a good one. The ticket prices, bro. Pre-Ticketmaster. Stand in line for hours. Make new friends. It sucks that you kids in that younger generation didn't get to experience that, because it was something special. It really, really was. Was there in Dallas. Remember when Metallica launched into Creeping Death? The militia turned the seating area into general admission. Floor seats, legendary. I remember. So Kingdom Come was great. I think I had the CD. I knew nothing about Metallica. I had heard the name. I've seen shirts. Not realizing that actually I had heard them on the radio, but it was, the late night metal shop show that I did. Nothing registered at that time. And I remember they came on, and I looked at my buddy next to me. I go, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Wow. Not knowing a goddamn song they're playing. Nothing registered. Nothing sounded familiar. They actually, I pulled up this their typical set list. Creeping Death. Oh God, they opened with Creeping Death. I did. One song was familiar, and that was Sanitarium, because the MTV Monsters of Rock special. That was the live clip that they played. Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Sanitarium, Harvester of Sorrow, Whiplash, Fade to Black, Seek and Destroy Master, Last Caress, Am I Evil, and Battery. That was their. I wish I could find some video from that Metrodome show. And it's interesting that Creeping Death was typically the first song because that's one of the moments that sticks out. I remember thinking to myself, in that breakdown part, die, die, die. Again, I looked at my buddy, like, we're gonna die, die, die by my hand. I'm still in awe of what's going on. I had never heard anything like this. Never experienced thrash metal that I know of. No, I didn't. I don't think I had. For the Bell Tolls, I had no idea. Sanitarium. Oh, I know this one. Death by Stereo. I had no fucking idea. Then they play Harvester of Sorrow. And this was, now keep in mind, this was before Justice for All came out. This was after Master. This was after Garage Days, because Garage Days was the first thing they did with Jason, because on the Puppets tour, as we all know, Cliff Burton passed away, was killed, I should say. So I think it was the September after this tour wrapped up is when Justice for All came out. And that would have been September, so that would have been right around it was after school started. Now, after this show, I went straight to the music store the next day and bought Master of Puppets. I was, what the holy fuck? This is my life has changed. First day of school. Now, keep in mind, Catholic school. You know, everybody's wearing their fucking dress to the T. It's first day of school. We're dressing up. Everybody's dressing up. Now we're in church clothes, but we're walking tall. We're looking good. I had a Metallica shirt on. The one with the skull, with the things coming out of the skull. I think it was a Damage Inc. shirt. It was a gift from my best friend's brother. So, I'm not going to wear it. You can have it. So, well, that's pretty cool. And I remember the looks that I got. Oh, fucking Metallica. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Well, 2 years later, everybody's wearing Metallica shirts. But, God forbid, listen to me. God forbid. But that was life-changing. Metallica was life-changing, especially when you see a band, and it's tougher nowadays with the internet. You can do some research, yada, yada, yada. I suppose I could have went to the record store and picked up a fucking Metallica record, but it wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't have been the same as experiencing it for the first time live with thousands and thousands and thousands of people in a stadium in downtown Minneapolis. Absolutely life-changing. Then Dokken comes on. And as we've learned in the past years, that Dokken was basically doing this tour for the money, and then breaking up. They had already basically broken up. It was like, all right, let's go make this money. Let's do one more tour. How can you go wrong with Van Halen and Scorpions and this new band Metallica? Well, not new. I mean, they had been around, but, new to a lot of the world. And this new band, Kingdom Come. And, you could tell they were going through the motions. They weren't. I remember George Lynch playing with his back to the crowd. I didn't realize that was a thing. But I enjoyed it. I loved the Scorpions. I thought they were great. They're definitely dressing the era. But they were great. I was very excited about seeing Scorpions. And then Van Halen, I was fucking blown away. I mean, how can you not be blown away by Van fucking Halen? And I just heard about 1,700 Dave Only Bobos. They're in Sammy, though! Fuck off. It was awesome. It was awesome. OU 812 tour. I remember Sammy climbing. It was a stadium, so he had the huge rig. Much like me. Climbing halfway up the fucking mains on the side because they had the ladders. During Ain't Talking About Love and hanging off. Bend to the edge. Still look down. That whole fucking thing. I can lose my ass up here, baby. Wow, what a first show. I don't know. I don't know if it could ever be topped. Now, I've seen shows that, have topped it, but being it was my first big boy concert, it was magical. That feeling, that rush of being there, being in the same fucking place as Edward Van Halen. Wow. And you're 15 years old. So you've never experienced this before. You've never experienced the power of a live rock and roll show, a live hard rock show. And then, with Metallica, a live heavy fucking metal show. Pure power. Yeah, I've cried at shows. First time I saw Kiss and Makeup, third row, St. Paul. That's another good topic. That's going to be coming up very, very soon, too. So there's that. There you go. That's the story of my first concert. That's the story of my first concert. My experience. The 1988 Monsters of Rock tour. Thank you, guys. We'll see you this week. Probably. Patreon folks, it will be Thursday or Friday, and rest of the world, you'll get it on Saturday with the commercials. Sorry about it. If you don't pay, you don't get commercial free. Anyways, we'll talk to you soon. Don't forget, what I lack in talent, I make up for in cock. My name is Izzy Presley. I'm the host of the program. I say good day.